My sister announced she was moving into my lake house on Monday. My dad had approved it like he owned the deed. Then my security app pinged. Motion detected. Trespassing recorded. That was the moment I stopped playing nice. Sunday dinner at my parents' place started like every other performance. We sat down. We smiled. Dad took his spot at the head of the table, acting like a judge. I asked for a small portion, and he still dumped a mountain on my plate. "You're too thin. Asterisk, asterisk, Gabriel, asterisk, asterisk," he said. Then the front door flew open, and my sister barged in with her husband and their 3 kids. Kids started arguing. My sister smiled too wide. That eager look she got right before I got blindsided. We didn't even finish passing the potatoes before she said it, casual as breathing. "We're moving into your lake house next week. Our house has foundation issues." My fork froze. What? Nobody looked surprised. Dad didn't blink. He just said, "It's sitting empty anyway," like I was hoarding an extra chair. The kids started calling dibs. The blue bedroom, the lake view. That's when it hit me this wasn't a request. This was decided without me. "It'll only be 7 months," Dad added. "Family helps family," my sister said, smiling like she'd won. "That lake house wasn't extra. It was mine. I paid for it. I fixed it. I rebuilt my piece there." So I set my napkin down. Slow, flat, final. I pulled out a manila folder and slid it onto the table. "The contractors," I said. "Start Monday." I opened it. "Permits, contracts, approved dates." 9 months, I added. Down to the studs. The room went dead quiet. Mom froze with her glass halfway up. Dad's knife stopped mid-cut. My sister's grin cracked. Even the kids went silent. She snapped first. "You can't be serious. We already gave notice." Dad leaned forward with his businessman voice. "Be reasonable. She has 3 kids." Mom jumped in. "You can't let them be homeless." My sister switched to her sad face. "We'd do it for you." I looked at Dad and said, "They can find housing that doesn't involve taking mine." Dad's tone went cold. "This could affect the inheritance." Right on schedule. I didn't flinch. "Poor planning on your part doesn't constitute an emergency on mine." His face twitched, because those were his words. I stood up, grabbed my folder, and left while they were still talking. The calls started before I hit the highway. I didn't answer. Instead, I called my contractor. "Change the locks," I said. "Cameras everywhere. Dumpsters in front of the garage." Monday morning, I drove to the lake house with my permits in my hand. The crew already had cones and sawhorses up. A security guard stood by. My sister's moving truck idled like it belonged. She marched at me. "Tell them to let us in." I held up the paperwork. "Renovation starts today. This place isn't habitable." She shoved past me toward the front door. "I still have a key." She jammed the key into the lock. Then she twisted. Then she tried again. Harder. Nothing moved. A speaker crackled beside the door. "Unauthorized entry attempt detected. Alerting property owner and security service." My phone chimed. Bright. Final. My sister turned slowly. "You changed the locks," she said. "Last week," I answered, nodding at the cameras under the roofline. She spun back to the moving truck, and the movers started unloading furniture onto my lawn, like my house was a storage unit. Boxes, dressers. It piled up fast. "We'll just store it here," she yelled, "until you come to your senses." I didn't argue. I pulled out my phone and dialed a number I'd already lined up. "Lakeside Auction House," I said. "Pick up today. Everything on the property. Donate the proceeds to the foster youth program." Her mouth dropped. "What auction house?" "The one that removes abandoned items," I said. The foreman looked at me. "We starting demo." I signed his clipboard. "Start with the master suite." 2 days later, my sister called screaming that the auction truck took everything, like I hadn't warned her. I said, "Then it shouldn't have been left here." Not long after that, my parents showed up to talk sense into me. Dad tried the will thread again, louder this time. "I can cut you out," he said. I nodded once. "You already did. Last year, when I wouldn't co-sign her husband's bad deal." Dad went pale. Mom went silent. And for the first time, nobody had leverage in my yard. Behind them, sledgehammers hit drywall. Dust floated through the air. My renovation kept moving, exactly on schedule. They could call it family. I called it taking. This time, it stayed mine.